Oddworld Soulstorm is available for pre-order. How about that? Specifically, the PlayStation 5 version of Oddworld Soulstorm is available to pre-order from Game, and has been for 9 days from what I can tell. I think it was put on the day after the latest PlayStation 5 showcase trailer was released. Game is a game shop for anyone that doesn't know and can't work it out by the name. I think the American equivalent of Game is called GameStop, which I've always thought was a stupid name, but then again, have you ever tried searching for a game shop that's literally just called Game? Anyway, I've had a look around, and currently from what I've seen, Game is literally the only place in the world that has Oddworld Soulstorm up pre-order, which is really interesting. I did find one website that looks really dodgy to me, and apparently offers an Oddworld Soulstorm pre-order for £40.90 on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Considering Oddworld Soulstorm is a PlayStation exclusive for now, that's what tells me this is potentially a bit of a dodgy place to buy the game, especially considering a couple of the images they use to promote it aren't even of Oddworld. And there's a few other details that give away that this might not be exactly legitimate. But I could be wrong, of course, and if you are looking forward to playing a game where you have to take down those evil glucons, who I guess are just putting a load of glucose in their products, then sure, take a look at it here, I guess. But yeah, according to console deals, the only place you can pre-order Oddworld Soulstorm currently is Game. But even so, I find it amazing that there's actually now a page on Game for Oddworld Soulstorm. After so long of, some people even thinking Soulstorm will never even come out. It's quite amazing to think here's an actual product page for it. Look at the cover. The cover of Oddworld Soulstorm is really amazing. I love the way they've gone for this minimalistic look. It's different to what they've done before, but yeah, I've absolutely loved this new style they're going for. And joking, of course, that's obviously just a temporary thing they've put there, which means they still haven't released the cover for Oddworld Soulstorm, which is interesting. The product page simply says Format PS5. Which, by the way, it's notable that Oddworld Soulstorm will be available on the PS4, but that isn't an option on the product page yet. During the latest PlayStation 5 event, we got another look at Oddworld Soulstorm. In Oddworld Soulstorm, you pick up where New and Tasty left off. Abe has undergone an unwanted transformation from being a clueless Mudokan cog, literally about to be chewed up by the Gluckon's big business machine, into an unlikely hero, a beacon of hope. It's amazing after so long that I can literally put Oddworld Soulstorm in my cart and then I can securely check out and actually buy it. I mean, I'm not going to do that yet, of course. For one, I don't intend on getting a PlayStation 5 for a very, very long time, when they are much, much cheaper, so I'd have to wait a very, very long time to play Oddworld Soulstorm on the PS5. So it would be much, much stupid for me to pre-order it here now. Secondly, I actually very rarely pre-order games. In fact, I think I've only ever pre-ordered one game in my entire life. And that was The Last of Us 2 earlier this year. I mean, I guess I will likely pre-order Oddworld Soulstorm when it's available on a platform that I actually have, but I've never actually thought about it before. The prospect of actually buying Oddworld Soulstorm has been so distant for so long it's never even occurred in my mind. I'm almost in some kind of shock that people can actually purchase it now. And thirdly, have you seen this price, £59.99? I thought it was meant to be a $30 game. Actually, I just had a look and I can't actually find any source for where I read this, except I did find pretty much that exact quote from Lorne Lanning, except it was said about New and Tasty and not Oddworld Soulstorm. So I'm guessing I got mixed up. Now I'm hoping that because this is the PS5 version, that might be why it's so expensive, considering PlayStation 5 games are very new and very few in number. And I hope that the PS4 version will be cheaper. I mean, I'm not complaining or anything, it just surprised me, but that's my fault for remembering wrong and getting mixed up with that $30 New and Tasty quote that I read. So I've just always had that price in my head, I guess, so it seemed like a surprise to see this $59.99. I guess most people will not be shocked by a $59.99 price, I'm probably just an idiot. But I mean, I have always considered £60 to be a lot for a game, in my opinion anyway. I remember when half that price, when £30 was considered expensive for a game. As I recall it, that was the cost of the big titles and was like the maximum you'd pay for a game years ago. Of course, that was many years ago, so I might be wrong. Perhaps I'm misremembering that as well, and games have always been this expensive. And I've been told many times that game development costs a lot more than it used to, hence why game prices have gone up. But still, I didn't even pay £60 for The Last of Us 2, only paid £41 for that, and that was a pre-order of one of the most hyped games of the last half a decade. It wasn't worth it either. I ended up selling it after I finished it to a guy who was actually very nice. But anyway, I'm just having a quick look through other games on this site to try to back up my theory that the PS4 version might be cheaper, because I have no idea if that's how it actually works. But okay, these other games all seem to stay the same price when the format is changed from PS5 to PS4. Except Demon's Souls here, which for some reason transforms into Cyberpunk 2077 instead. Must be a glitch. Eventually, I did come across some games that went down in price when it changed to PS4. Even Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which didn't go down a lot, but it did go down from $69.99 to $64.99. So it's possible that $59.99 isn't the full price of Oddworld Soulstorm on every platform. And to be fair, it does say, please note, prices in game stores may differ. But at the same time, it is possible, as most of the games I looked at didn't vary in price depending on what console they're on. I mean, it is a standard price for games nowadays, to be fair. So I can imagine Oddworld Soulstorm might potentially be that price. And maybe that's the price it needs to be for Oddworld Inhabitants to make a profit with it, considering everything they've put into it over so many years. It's interesting to note that Oddworld Soulstorm is being displayed quite nicely on the game website. I mean, it's not like massively prominent, but it's relatively nicely prominent, like mediumly prominent. If you press the list of all the PlayStation 5 games they have available, of which I assume everyone's a pre-order, Oddworld Soulstorm is on the third row ahead of such big brand games like Five Nights at Frederick's, Call of Duty long titled followed by subtitle, and Assassin's Creed, but they don't bother putting the hood in it anymore. That's pretty impressive considering that game put Oddworld Soulstorm ahead of all of them. Unless there's like a standard reason for it, like alphabetical or something. It isn't alphabetical, but I mean like something like that, like a barcode numbers or something, if there's like an order I'm not aware of. But even more so, if you go to the coming soon page for all the pre-orders and scroll down, you can see Oddworld Soulstorm listed here as the 6th game along, out of 44 for TBC 2020. I always get mixed up with TBC and think it means to be continued. I actually had to look it up and realise it means to be confirmed. Which brings me on to what I think is a very exciting piece of information that this provides us. I could be wrong, but this could potentially confirm that Oddworld Soulstorm will definitely be coming out this year. It isn't listed for this month, October, November or December, but to be confirmed 2020. So while this means that they haven't announced even a release month yet, they are literally putting out a release year to retailers. And that's a very good sign, I think. Especially considering it's currently so close to the end of the year. You know, it's no longer a fickle Oddworld Inhabitants release year that can be rewritten as easily as in Spec Element Q. Now it's a retailer saying Oddworld Soulstorm is coming out in 2020. So while 2021 got the biggest percentage of the vote, in a poll I did recently to gauge public opinion on when they think Oddworld Soulstorm will be released, I think that this from Game here is a good indicator that hopefully it will be released even earlier, and the release date will be sometime this year instead, which is a good thing for everyone, I think. So, this is a great sign for the game, and hopefully we'll get more confirmation as more retailers hopefully start putting up product pages for Oddworld Soulstorm in the months and potentially even weeks to come.
Hello, follow me. Mm-hmm.